Hi everybody, Sarah Peternell here with Family Nutrition Services. I'm coming to you today from a not so sunny Florida. We're here on fall break, but I'm never too busy to keep updating you guys with my nutrition tips and information here on my YouTube channel. So thank you very much for liking and subscribing and sharing. What I want to talk about today is actually really timely because here we are smack in the middle of October. And I think all of us parents, we start to feel the heat a little bit with the onslaught of sugar that might be happening soon or is already happening. So I get asked a lot of questions this time of year about how to manage the sugar that's going to start coming home from school parties, from fall festivals, from trick-or-treating, from Halloween parties, and so on and so forth. And really, it's starting now in October, but this will be going strong all the way through the holiday season, if you know what I mean. It kind of starts with candy corn and it ends with candy canes. So it's no wonder that a lot of parents start thinking about this and maybe worrying about this a little bit, especially once they realize that their kids are getting a pretty hefty intake of sugar this time of year. In fact, there's some research that shows that typically the child under 12 years old consumes about 49 pounds of sugar per year, and the majority of that is actually consumed during the holiday months, October, November, December, and January, which is an incredibly frightening thought if you think about that. 49 pounds of sugar in a little child's body. Now, obviously, they don't gain all of these pounds in an entire year from eating this much sugar, but that means their body has to do something with it. It has to be able to process it, to be able to detoxify it, and to be able to excrete it out of the body. Now, I'm talking about sugar in general, and honestly, sugar is not really actually the worst thing. To be honest, I'm a little bit more worried about some of the artificial sugars that are in a lot of sweetened foods these days. I'm also more concerned about high fructose corn syrup. I definitely am not a fan of all of the GMO sugars that we have in a lot of our American sweet products. GMO beets, definitely, and also GMO sugarcane, and GMO high fructose corn syrup from GMO corn. So these are definite problems as well. Add to that you've got a pretty major problem when you start thinking about additives, colorings, preservatives, and basically a bunch of other junk. Sometimes when I look at the packaging on a piece of candy or something that my kids, are enthralled by because of the marketing or the bright colors or the cartoon character on the front of the package, when we flip it over and we look at the ingredients, we literally cannot pronounce any of them. So when I'm talking about sweet foods, I'm really not just vilifying sugar. I don't really want you to think that I'm anti-sugar, because I'm not. If you're making something at home that's made with like maybe raw honey or grade B maple syrup, which is the good stuff that has all the good minerals in it, or if you're making something with coconut sugar, or for crying out loud, even if you're making some cookies with some organic refined white sugar, every now and then that's not really a big deal. But the type of sugar that our kids are getting exposed to and that are getting inundated with isn't really what the body knows how to handle. It actually requires a lot more than just dealing with the glucose at the end of the day. It actually has a lot to do with all these other ingredients that I'm talking about. So I kind of want you guys to think about maybe how you can start to healthfully detox sugar from your household. And I have some information on one of my older blog posts on my website. It's about the scary truth about Halloween, and I go in detail about a lot of this stuff around the preservatives and GMOs and a lot of the other concerns about the damage that sugar does sweetened treats do to kids as far as their health is concerned. This definitely affects their neurological system and their cognitive ability, their memory, their mood, their sleep, and their behavior. Any parent who's ever witnessed their kids on a sugar binge, maybe the night of Halloween or the day after, knows that this definitely has an impact on kids. And you know what? We don't even have to look at our own kids. We know how sugar makes us feel. First you get that high from the sugar, and then you get the crash, and it really can make you kind of grouchy and just feel terrible. So if you're thinking about this as maybe one of the steps that you want to take, not to take the fun out of the holidays, not to take the fun out of Halloween, but to get things under control in your own household, I highly recommend that you check out that blog on my website, sarahpeternell.com. Just go to the blogs and scroll like to page 2 of the blogs, and you'll see a cute little picture there of a little girl wearing a Halloween witch's hat, and that's the article that you want to read. I also really want to encourage you to be thinking about some of the alternatives that you can do counter to these processed and manufactured sweets that are going to be in abundance this year. Think about tapping into some really healthy homemade sweet recipes that you can do to have on hand. Maybe even finding some cute Halloween treats that are not sweet, such as a fruit and veggie tray, maybe doing some cute little clementines with a little jack-o'-lantern face on it. I saw something the other day that was like chicken sausages that were cut in the shape of like decapitated fingers or something. It was kind of gross, but actually, kids love that kind of stuff. And really all they want is to be entertained, to be social, to be in connection with their families, with their friends. And the sugar, in a lot of cases, is, although it seems like the focus, sometimes there are actually kids out there who the sugar is maybe not as important as we think it is. So I've got lots of great tips on my website about getting the sugar habits under control in your household. Sure enough, you're going to have some family members that will revolt at this idea and probably hate me in the process, and they'll be like, why are you paying attention to that weird nutritionist on YouTube? Why are you reading her weird articles on her website? Seriously, who cares about sugar? It's not a big deal. But if you have a gut instinct that this is not right for you, for your kids, for your family, check it out, because I think deep down we all know that this is becoming like a problem societally. We're starting to look at kind of, the effect on kids. As I said, neurologically, we're looking at the effect that it has on the obesity rate with kids, the effect that it has on kids, and the climbing rate of diabetes and other inflammatory conditions that are affecting kids at a much, much younger age. All we really want is the best for our kids. We don't mean to be, annoying and sugar cops and party poopers and all that stuff. We really just want our kids to be happy and healthy and to enjoy things in moderation, because that's a great life lesson, a great life skill to have, not just around sugar, but around a lot of other things too, right? Especially as they get older into middle school, high school, and they have other temptations and other issues. We want them to learn how to know their bodies, to listen to their bodies, and how to make really good choices. So thank you so much for tuning in today, for paying attention to my little sugar spiel, if you will. I do hope you guys all have a great fall season. This is actually my favorite time of year. And we're down here, like I said, for fall break, so we'll be catching a few more rays of sun before we head back to the Colorado beautiful fall colors. And I hear it's snowing there in the mountains this weekend. So anyway, thanks again for watching. Remember to like, subscribe, and share, and I will see you soon. Bye!